previous session we had a discussion about the memory allocation of a pointer that can be done in two ways, that is static and dynamic. So in dynamic allocation of a memory, that can be done by making use of what? New and delete operator. Okay. So now we'll see what is new operator and how it will works, and what is delete operator and all. Okay. So new operator is nothing but it's mainly used to allocate a storage for a variable while program is running. That means while running a program or during the execution of a program, when you want to allocate some storage space for the variables, then we need a new operator, that is a special function operator. Okay, so we can allocate storage for a variables while program is running, that is at the time of execution of a program, by using new operator. Okay, and it is used to allocate memory without having to define the variables. So as you all know that when you want to allocate some memory space for a variable, when the variable is declared or defined, then compiler will going to allocate some memory space for that variables. So if it is int, then it's going to allocate 2 bytes of memory. Okay, if it is double, then it's going to allocate some kind of memory. Okay, so but when you want to allocate a memory space without having to define the variables, no need to define the variables here by making use of the new operator. Okay, so when we have used a new operator, then no need to define the variables. In that case also it's going to allocate some memory space for that variables, and that also allows to make a pointer to point to that variable. Okay, so without defining or without declaring the variables, we can allocate some memory space dynamically by making use of new operator. Okay, so we'll see now. Here is a following code which is demonstrate to how to allocate the memory for different variables. Okay, so variable can be any kind. It can be either integer or any floating point values or double values, or for an array, or for the dynamic structure variables, or for objects. Okay, so now we'll see here. So this is to allocate memory type integer. Okay, so for integer variable, how to allocate memory space dynamically. So for example, here we have 2 lines of code. So this is data type. So here we have user integer type, and we have a pointer variable called star p number. Okay, so this is nothing but pointer variable. That pointer variable is used to point to another variable or to the new memory space. Okay, so I'm assigning some value to this p number. So here p number is a pointer variable, and I'm assigning some values to this p number. What is that? New int. So why we use new? So new is nothing but it's going to allocate the memory space dynamically without defining the variable. Okay, so new int. What it means? The first line declares the pointer, that is p number. So in this we have declared a pointer, that is p number. So what is the pointer name here? P number. And then second line then allocates a memory space for an integer. So what it's going to do? It's going to allocate some memory space for an integer. Okay, and makes the p number point to this new variable or new memory. Okay, so here we have 2 lines of code. That is, in first line I have declared a pointer, that is pointer name is star p number, that is indirection operator of p number. Okay, then in second line I am allocating some memory for an integer, because here we have used a integer data type, right? Then this new operator will going to allocate some memory space for this int, and then it makes a p numbers point to this variable. So this p number is nothing but what? It's going to point to this new memory. Okay, and so this is regarding memory allocation of type integer. But when you want to allocate some memory for an array, okay, how to declare array? Of making use of pointers double star dptr. So you can give any name here. Okay, so there is no restriction of the pointer name, so you can give any type of the name that must be readable. And then we are using a double data type. Double doesn't mean that we can use floating point values. Okay, so the size is greater or more than the integer data type. Okay, so double doesn't mean we can take any floating values. Okay, don't get confused with that. Double, star or indirection operator of dptr. That means we have a pointer variable here, that is dptr equals new double of 25. Okay, so I am allocating the size of this double by making use of new operator. Okay, then this pointer variable will going to point to this new memory. So here in first we have declared a pointer variable called dptr. This dptr is pointing to a new memory of the type array. Okay, so new is a operator that's going to allocate some memory space for this data type double of 25. So whatever the value which is present in this dpr, then it's going to allocate 25 values. Okay, then in order to allocate a dynamic memory for the structure variables or objects, how we can do that? By making use of this statement. So here class name is a student and sp is a object equals new student. Okay, so I am allocating some memory space for the students by making use of new operator. So object is sp, then we are this operator is pointing to this new memory. Okay, so this is how we can allocate some memory space dynamically by making use of new operator. Okay, so mainly new operator is used to allocate some memory space for a variables that can be any type. So in order to allocate memory type for the integer, doubles or for an array, or we can also allocate some dynamic memory space for structure variables or for an object. So next is delete operator. Okay, so delete operator is just reverse of new operator. So new operator mainly used to allocate some memory space for the variables, but delete operator is used to destroy or to remove the allocated memory from that variables. Okay, so we'll see here a delete operator is mainly used to destroy the variable space. That means whatever the values which is allocated to the variables by use of new operator, that will be destroyed by making use of this delete operator. Okay, so which has been created by using the new operator dynamically. So whatever the value which is allocated for the variable by making use of new operator, that will be removed or destroyed with the help of delete operator. Okay, so then use delete operators to free dynamic memory as. How we need to use this delete operator in our program? So we all know that how to use new operator. So in order to allocate some memory space for the array or objects or structure variables or for integer variables, we know how to use or how to allocate memory with the help of new variables. Like that, we also need to operate the delete operator in order to free or in order to destroy the variable space. Okay, so if I want to delete any memory type of integer, then I have to use this statement. That means delete iptr. So here iptr is what? Integer type of pointer. So if I have used this statement in our program, then it's going to delete the values or memory which is allocated for this iptr variable. Okay, but when I want to free some dynamic allocated memory for the array, so if I want to destroy the memory allocation for the array variables, then I have to use this statement. That means delete, this specifies the array. Okay, dptr. Whatever the values or size of the array has been allocated with the help of new operator, then that will be deleted or destroyed with the help of this delete operator. Okay, delete square bracket dptr. That means here we have a pointer variable called dptr which is pointing to an array. Okay, with the help of this delete operator, we are going to destroy the variable space of dptr. Okay, then to free dynamic structure, so if I have allocated some memory space for the structure variables, then I have to use delete structure. Okay, So whatever the value which is allocated to that structure, then that will be destroyed. So you can see here, your dynamic structure name is student. So now I want to delete the values of students, or I want to delete the value space, that means variable space of that student. Then what I have to do, then I have to use delete student. Okay, then it's going to deallocate the memory, or it's going to destroy the memory which is allocated for the variable called structure. Okay, so this is regarding new and delete operator. So if you are trying to delete the memory that is already have been freed, is dangerous. Okay, so you can delete only allocated memory. If it is already freed, then it is dangerous, and that can also lead to your program crashing. Okay, then programmer must be aware of this kind of situation when we need to deallocate the memory or when we need to allocate the memory. Okay, so this is regarding delete and new operator, and this topic is very important for your examination.